Hi guys, welcome to Charities Bible USA, your number one channel. It's another day. I hope you're doing great. I'm going to work. It's 6:26. It's been snowing. But like I told you earlier, even when it snows, we have to go to work. So this is Charities Bible USA, your number one channel. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly consider subscribing. So I'm talking to you who hasn't subscribed. Kindly consider subscribing. Now, today I want to go off and talk about a very different topic. If you are in Kenya and you come from central Kenya, you know that these issues have been trending. And I've been watching, I'm like, goodness, I don't know what's going on. But I just want to talk a little bit about it and talk about polygamy. Polygamy, especially in the mountain region. You know, if you dive into the Muslim religion or Muslim community, you know that their men are allowed to marry 4 wives. They can, if they want, if they are able to. That's what I say. But for me, according to what I know right now, and according even to the man's biology, there is no man who is going to be able to be 100% satisfy 4 wives, 4 women. Like that doesn't work. It can't, because you're not a rooster, you know, or you're not that he goat. No, you're not. So there is this story, and it's interesting because, and I want to go back to when we grew up, because I know the Akorino religion. When I was growing up, when I was little, like those people were like regarded as the holiest. But right now, look at what they are doing. Look at what they have done, even to their religion. Even like those people, they are just horrible. I think they were just looking for an escape, whereby they can be able to do bad things, immoral things. And why I'm saying this is, people get married, people divorce, you know, people separate. And for me, I wouldn't say it's a big deal. I know in the African community, especially when you have left your husband, they look down on you, they say you're single or whatever. You know those names that they call women. But let's get here into a fact, whereby this man, and I'm just gonna talk about it because you know, it's out there. They have aired their dirty linen in public. So this guy, like, and living here in the US, I am online like most of my time, unless when I am working. Like, I am online like most of the time, so I see what goes on. So let's start to where this man Carangu started. Where did he start? Because nobody knew about him. Like, I would say a good like 6 years ago or 10 years. Let me give it 10 years ago. Nobody knew about him. Of course, I know he was married and everything, because the wife says that they had been married for 13 years. But how did he start? How did he become high and mighty? And how did he get his wealth even before he became a brand ambassador? You all know that he has been online parading and asking for money, begging. I would say begging. I call it begging for money, in the disguise of helping people. And at the end of the day, yes, of course they show like, oh, I'm taking this person to India or whatever. It doesn't matter. Or I'm building a house for someone. And maybe that's just an icing in the cake, whereby I know there is no way that you're going to raise for a person, whether they are sick or whatever, like maybe 1 million Kenya shillings or whatever, and you don't have a percentage in it. You know what I mean? Because like if he lives here in the US and he had to be audited, that's when you would know that most of whatever that he has come from people. You know, it's handouts. Let me call it handouts. And it doesn't matter how you make it in life, But I always respect people who work very hard for their money. I do respect the people who work very hard for their money. Every morning they wake up, they go to work, they work very hard, and they have other things to do. But that aside, and then when we became very popular, you know, I know he has like 1 million followers on Facebook. Then he started getting these gigs whereby he's a brand ambassador or whatever. And then that is when he decided to marry a second wife. I don't know if it's marrying or it's a side chick. But I watched his interview when he was being interviewed by this guy in the living room, I think, of the first wife's house. And he had the audacity. He had the audacity to say that he has bought cows and chicken and all that bullshit to his wife, and so his wife doesn't need him. Why do people get married? Like, does he even understand what is marriage? Does he even understand, like, what marriage, why people get married? So he makes his wife a farmhand. I would call it a farmhand. And then he goes out there, leaves his kids, 3 children, and goes and marries another girl who has been married 2 times, puts them in a mansion in the city, buys them a nice car, and refuses to go back even home to visit his wife. Because he's done. Like, you know, like you are old. Your work is just to take care of cows and goats, and that's it, and you're done, and to take care of the kids, and that's it. Because when I listened to that interview, there is no place that, oh gosh, I need to fuel my cup. There is no place. Let me show you the scenery, you know, like when I'm talking about this, because this is so irritating. That you are there online, parading cows and goats, and saying that that is what you have given your wife, and you don't even go to see her. You know? And that's why for me, and if you have watched most of my videos, I have never, ever agreed to polygamy. And I am married. I've been married for a long time. And if my husband decided to take another wife, that would be the end of us. Period. Like, that's it. I can't share. And I stand with that woman when she said that it's either her or that side chick to go. Because that it shows that that man, like, really doesn't care about that woman. He really doesn't. But he wants her to go back home, take care of the kids, so that, number one, he can protect his brand. I'm telling you, if that guy lived here in the US and that story went online of how he's marrying a second wife and he has left his first wife, I'm telling you, all the brands could pull out. I'm telling you, all those brands that he is representing, they pull out. They do. I'm telling you, they do. They will pull out. And I thank God that that woman has got someone who is, maybe I would say, like, trying to hold her hand or whatever. I don't know what is in for them, because, you know, in Kenya, like, it's you scratch my back, I scratch yours, which is okay. That's how the world is. But what I can say is, I think she should have some space, not think about that guy, and live her life. Because there are good and beautiful stories about women who have been mistreated by their husbands, and they have stood up for themselves, and they have walked out of that sham marriage. You know, I'm telling you, the Akorino community, that community itself, even their girls, they had like a convent. You know, I look at it like the way nuns are, because the girls, before they got married, they had a place just near the church whereby they could go there, they could be taught things, they could be mentored. And we didn't used to see those girls like parading. Like, you know, there was this video that came up of these girls, and they were just very inappropriate. online. You know, social media doesn't forget. And those are the things that we are remembering. But for a man who has been married to his wife for 13 years, and he hasn't gone back home to be his wife and kids, be with his wife and kids for more than 1 year or 2 years, and then to make the matters worse, he goes to that side chick and talks about his wife, how his wife does not know hygiene. Because if it happened, where did that come from? Because you find that when they marry the second wives, they try to make the bad wife look bad. You know, they try to, you know, like say things, bad things, and then the side chick, because she's stupid, she has the audacity to call the wife and tell that, because that comes from, because that woman, she doesn't know this first wife. They don't know one another. So where would she get information about the first wife? So the men from Central, you know, there has always been a dialogue comparing the men from Central and the men from the Lake region. Let me call it the Lake region. Because the men from Central, it's all about wealth. It's all about money, you know? And you don't even think about that other person. You know, you don't want to wear the shoe of that person and ask, yes, we have had all this money and all this has happened. How does the other party feel like? Do I treat them as a woman? Because there's a way that you're supposed to treat a woman. You have time for that person. Or is it that in your free time, instead of like spending it with your family, that's when you go to see your friends? You know what I mean? Like, it's the men of, let me call them the men of the mountain. They are failing. And what is this business about parading your dirty linen in social media? You know, I was shocked that they were in TikTok and they were talking about, you know, they were having a dialogue on how to reconcile their marriage on TikTok. Who does that? You know, like, it doesn't make sense to me. It's 6:39, it's almost 7. But you know, the times are almost to change. The days are gonna be longer than the nights. And that's why you see it still looks a little bit bright outside. But I'm gonna end this video very fast because it's gonna get dark. So who talks about their marriage issues in social media? In TikTok. You know, I really don't understand why. And these people I've been coughing. I have very bad allergies and I got a cold, and that cold, I don't know if it's gonna go away until this cold season is over. So, like, I really don't understand why. You know, there was a song that used to, and if you're from the mountain, you know this song, whereby this guy was telling his dad to send away the second woman, because that woman was only there for the money. Because I'm asking, if that second side chick, today that man did not have anything, and he did not have fame, he did not have anything to be, like anything to give, would that girl look at him even twice? No, she would not. And that's the fact that men forget. And he's there defending this side chick against his wife. You know, like, I don't understand. Like, I really do not understand. And I don't understand where cows and goats and chicken are the replacement of your husband. Because he said, and then he even buys a better car to the side chick more than the wife. Who does that? Oh my God. You know, I just cannot believe it. And then he sends the side chick to go and visit the first wife's child in school. Or that guy, I'm telling you, if he needs, I don't know, he needs help. And I think days are gone whereby that the people who really know our culture, because our culture is, we have a good culture, and if you follow the rules, you find that even those men who used to marry many women, they had a way of bringing stability. They also had a way of defending each woman in their own right. But this man has failed miserably. He has even gone ahead and went and paid dowry for the side chick. You know, like it's crazy. And then you hear the stories of that side chick is not straight, there is something that he is using on that guy and whatever. I don't know how true that is, but my thing is that when a man gonna learn that it is not, it's not gonna work, especially for those women who are more enlightened, that they are not gonna share. Well, there is no way that you're gonna build your life on whatever, however they made their money, and however they got whatever they got, and then another person comes to enjoy it. Like, it's not gonna work. So my question is, what is wrong with the men of the mountain? What is it about? It's all about, you think about when the wife has got cows and goats and maybe a car. I wouldn't say that, you know, I saw that car when that guy was giving it to gifting it to the wife in social media, and I was like, really? So there is no way. For me, what I know is that both of you both of you are equal partners. It's like a manager and a CEO. Everybody manages something in a marriage. And there should be equality. There is no way that my husband will be driving a better car than I am driving. We should be on the same level. There is no way. Like, no. And even if she was doing the house, the farmhand work, she's still making money, then she should have a better car. Actually, that man would have bought her a better car. You know, most men who are like kind of wise, they would even buy a car that's closer to theirs or a better one or the same or whatever. But you cannot buy just a car from anywhere, and it's even an old car, and you give your first wife, and then you go and buy a new car for your side chick. And then you tell me that it's gonna be okay. No, it doesn't work like that. So it's a high time that the men of the mountain start learning our values. You know? And even I look at even those men who had married many wives. I know of this family that this guy had 2 wives. And it was unfortunate that the first wife had more boys and the second wife only had 1 boy. But when it came to property division, the youngest wife was very cunning, and she took almost everything from that man. So the first family was left with peanuts. Although, you know, karma has its way of coming back, because, you know, you're not going to take everything from the other woman and think that your children are going to prosper. It doesn't work like that, let me tell you guys. It doesn't work like that. So what is my problem here? My problem is that if you're willing to marry 2, and if you have a wife who is submissive enough to agree to it, then you got to style her, because you have to be able to make it equal. It has to be equal, I'm telling you. You know, there's this person who sang a song and say having 2 wives is like having 2 pots of witchcraft or 2 pots of voodoo. Just having 2 women, because women do not like one another. I'm telling you, women do not like. Wherever you go, even here in America, women don't like one another. I'm telling you, they don't. They like to outshine one another, and that's why maybe even like something like a wig, you'll buy a new wig and you put it on, and then you'll find someone else the next day they have it. That's how it is. That's the world of women. Women can be very, 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 very competitive. Let me call it competitive, because they like to win all the time. So my thing is, that man needs to go back to his roots and learn that, number 1, your marriage issues should not be talked on in social media. Number two, you do not treat the wife of your youth like trash because of a side chick. Because if today that man became bankrupt, if he became bankrupt, that side chick would nowhere be to be seen. Because I've seen those men who go, they spend all their money out there, and then when they are left with nothing, or when they are done educating their kids of the side chick and everything, they are kicked out, and they go back to their first wife crying. I've seen that, guys. I've been here for a long time. You know, I'm not a Gen Z. I've seen it. I'm telling you, I've seen it. I've even seen it in my family, whereby my dad was an absentee dad. He left when I was 9. But even before he died, it was my mother who took care of him. When he was at his lowest, when he could not even pick a spoon and feed himself, when he could not even be able to take himself to the bathroom, it was my mother. I do remember that my mother had been here because she had been, when COVID came, she stayed with us for a long time because there was no plane and anything. And then when she went back home, we had talked about how she was going to go and start something for herself, just to keep herself busy and everything. But I'm telling you, when she found out that my dad was sick, she stopped everything that she was doing and went to take care of that man until that man died. On his last days, it was her who he left with 5 kids, the youngest not even 6 months old. Because I do remember when we saw our dad, my youngest brother was 3 years old. He didn't even know that we had a dad. He didn't know, I'm telling you. So that man should sit down and know that if the day that he has nothing, that first wife that he is disrespecting and treating like trash, that is the only person who can turn back and help them. Because I've seen it happen. So it's a high time he knows what he's gonna do. And you know, I just love that woman. Like right now, she has changed her personality. She has changed even her look. She has changed her look. Actually, I was so happy about her because she got, and then she got a job. She's a brand ambassador for something. And she should go on like that. She should not bow down and go back to that life that man wants to put her. She wants her to be aside when he wants her to be aside when he is enjoying life with a side chick who doesn't know where all that money came from. But she doesn't know. She's just there to enjoy life. I hear that she's living in a better house than the first wife. Oh my God. It's not all about money or anything, but I know it hurts and it feels bad when you see that the person that you are struggling with at the beginning is the one who has stand against you, and they have taken other people and they are enjoying what is rightfully yours with other women. I know it hurts, guys. So that is the end of my lecture. I would call it my lecture. I'll talk again maybe tomorrow or the next day. So think about it, ponder it. If you come from the mountain, or if you don't even come from the mountain, you are from Kenya, and that is what you have been doing to your wives. Think about it. And if you want to marry too, then pull up your socks, because it's not easy, it's hard. So guys, continue subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thank you and God bless you.